The biggest World Cup ever is coming, and yet Italy is not even in it. Yeah. Also, ignore the jersey, wrong football. I know. All right, let's try that again. We are less than 2 months away from the official start of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And now that all the groups are set, I'm going to be predicting the entire tournament starting from the group stage and all the way up to the final. But before we jump in, if you're new here, my name is Cal, and this is the Emerald City Analyst. Now let's get into the predictions. Starting off with Group A, we got Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and the Czech Republic. And first off, I got Mexico topping the group since they are the host and they should be winning this group. For second, I got South Korea. They always seem to have that elements of surprise in the group stage. And they did it twice back in 2018 against Germany and then again in 2022 against Portugal. And I think they can do it again here. And then for third, I got the Czech Republic and I got South Africa finishing last. Moving on to Group B, we got Canada, Bosnia, Qatar, and Switzerland. And for Group B, I got Switzerland topping the group. And even though Canada are one of the hosts for this in this World Cup, I think Switzerland have the edge here because of the fact that they have more experience than Canada in the World Cup, and also I think they have a better roster than Canada as well. But I still got Canada finishing second in their group and them being able to get out of the group stage. For third, I'm going to go with Bosnia, and I was really impressed with them beating Italy in the qualifying stages to get to the World Cup. And I think they could be competitive here. And finishing last, I got Qatar. I just don't think they have enough to get out of this group, even though this is their second straight World Cup appearance. Moving on to Group C, we got Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. And this is an interesting group because I think first place could come down between Morocco and Brazil. Brazil hasn't been as dominant as they were in recent World Cups, and Morocco surprised a lot of people at the last World Cup, especially with that fourth place finish. So I could see this. So I could see Morocco potentially top winning the group in this one, but I'm still going to go with Brazil because I think anything less than a first place finish to that Brazil squad would be a disappointment. And I got Morocco finishing second with that really strong squad. And in third, I got Scotland, and last in the last place, I got Haiti. All right, Group D, we got co-hosts the United States, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. Now, I'll start off by saying this. I know the U.S. hasn't looked that impressive in their recent friendlies leading up to the World Cup, especially against Portugal and Belgium. But I would say don't count them out yet, especially at home. They are the co-hosts, and there's going to be a lot of expectation for them to perform in this tournament. And also, I think they got easier matchups in their group as well, especially with Australia in there. So I still got the United States winning their group. And then for second, I'm going to go with Turkey. They got a really solid record under their current manager, Vincenzo Montella, even though they haven't scored a lot of goals in their games. And then for third, I got Paraguay and with a shot at sneaking into the knockout rounds with a third place finish. And finishing last, I got Australia. Sorry, Aussies. Better luck next time. All right, moving into Group E, we got Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. And for Germany, I think they should win this group, especially since they are the strongest team and I think the best team in this group as well, even though their last two World Cup performances were a disaster. So I got Germany topping the group. And then as for second place, oh boy, I think this is a tough one because I think it could be either the Ivory Coast, it could be Ecuador. But I think I'm going to go with the Ivory Coast here because I think they're a more dangerous team going into this tournament than Ecuador are. And so I got the Ivory Coast finishing second, with Ecuador in third, and finishing last is Curacao. I mean, this is Curaçao's first World Cup appearance, so I'm not expecting too much from them. All right, going into Group F, we got Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia. And for Group F, I got the Netherlands topping the group here, but I could definitely see Japan making things interesting here and potentially topping the group. And they surprised a lot of people at the last World Cup with upsets over Spain and Germany, and I wouldn't be shocked if they did it again. But I still think the Netherlands will edge it out because their physical presence, I think, gives them an advantage, especially with someone like Virgil van Dijk, who's dominant defensively and a real threat on attacking set pieces. So I still got the Netherlands finishing first, with Japan as the runner-up, and Sweden in third, and Tunisia in fourth. Moving into Group G, we got Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. And for Group G, I got Belgium topping the group. Even though their last World Cup appearance was disappointing, I still feel like they got too much talent on their roster to not make it out of the group stage, especially with players like Jeremy Doku, Kevin De Bruyne, and Romelu Lukaku. So I think they'll win the group here. And then for second place, I got Egypt because, well, they got Mohamed Salah, and we all know what Mohamed Salah can do. And then for third, I got Iran, and finishing last, I got New Zealand. I mean, it's New Zealand's first World Cup appearance since 2010, so I'm not expecting too much from them. Moving into Group H, we got Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. And for Group H, I got Spain should win this group because, well, obviously they have a lot of talented players like Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, and Danny Olmo. For second, I got Uruguay, and even though Uruguay lost Luis Suarez to retirement, they still have Darwin Nunez, and I just don't see how Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde can beat them in the group stage. And then speaking of Saudi Arabia, I got them finishing third, and I got Cape Verde finishing fourth in this group. And it is Cape Verde's first World Cup appearance, so. All right, Group I. Oh boy, this is what I call the group of death here. Because we got two European giants in France and Norway, and we also got Senegal and Iraq in here as well. And this is what I feel like makes it a brutal group. So for Group I got France topping the group just because they have, well, too much talent on their team, especially with players like Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele, and a lot more, and a lot of other players I can name about. And then for second, I think I'm going to go with Norway here. They impressed me a lot in their qualifying matchups leading up to the World Cup. And with someone like Erling Haaland, I think they can definitely do some damage here. And then for third, I got Senegal. And finishing last, I got Iraq. All right, Group J, we got Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. Wow, we got three countries starting with the letter A here. Now, first off, we don't have official confirmation if Lionel Messi will play in this World Cup. But even without Messi, I still think Argentina will top the group because they already proven that they can win without him, especially in that 2024 Copa America tournament. And then for second, I got Austria finishing as the runner-up in Group J. And then for third, I got Algeria. And finishing last, I got Jordan. All right, last two groups here. Starting with Group K, we got Portugal, DR Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. And for Group K, I got Portugal topping the group, especially with this being likely being Cristiano Ronaldo's final World Cup. I think they'll be motivated to finish strong in their group and not go out in an embarrassing fashion. And for second, I'm going to go with Colombia. I was really impressed with their Copa America performance last in 2024. And I think they got enough talent to make it out of the group. And then for third, I got the DR Congo finishing in that position, and I got Uzbekistan finishing last. All right, lastly, Group L. We got England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. And then for Group L, I got England topping the group because they haven't conceded a single goal in their World Cup qualifiers, which I think is really impressive, and I think that defensive strength will carry over into the World Cup. And then for second place, I got Croatia finishing in as the runner-up, and I do expect Luka Modric to play in this World Cup. And if he does, shout out to him for making it into the 40 plus club because it's pretty rare for someone who is in their 40s to play in a World Cup. And then for third place, I got Ghana, and in last place, I got Panama. All right, now to pick the 8 best third place finishers. Oh boy, this is going to be tough because we don't know exactly how these matchups will play out for the third place finishers in particular. But for this one, I'm going to go pick picking Senegal, Ecuador, Al- Algeria, Sweden, Paraguay, Czechia or Czech Republic, Bosnia, and Ghana. And those are my 8 best third place finishers. All right, now moving on to the knockout stage of the tournament. So we got the new round of 32 um, round added here in this tournament. And starting off, we got Germany versus Paraguay. I think Germany will win this one just because they have too much talent on their roster not to advance to the round of 16. So I got Germany. And then France, same situation here. I just don't see how they could lose to Sweden in the round of 32, especially with a talented roster. So France. All right, Korea versus Canada. Ooh. I think I'm smelling a bit of an upset here, so I think I'm gonna go South Korea here. Netherlands versus Morocco. I mean, this could be an interesting matchup, but I think I'm gonna go with the Netherlands here to advance. Croatia versus Colombia. Well, I know Croatia. They're probably won't be good as they were in previous World Cups, but they always seem to surprise everyone in the knockout stage. So I'm gonna go Croatia here. And then Spain versus Austria. Well, obviously Spain because they have too much talent on their roster to not advance to the round of 16. And USA versus Bosnia. Well, I mean, I have to go USA because, well, I mean, they are the co-hosts, and well, you expect them to kind of make a deep playoff run. And then Belgium versus Czechia. I'm gonna go Belgium. All right, Brazil versus Japan. This could be a fun matchup, but I think I'm gonna go Brazil here. Norway versus Ivory Coast. I got Norway. Mexico versus Ecuador. Well, I'm definitely going to pick Mexico just because they are the co-host, and same thing with the USA. You expect them to make a deep playoff run. England versus Senegal, a rematch of the last tournament in the round of 16 matchup. And I got England winning this one. Argentina versus Uruguay. Interesting matchup. Two South American teams facing off against each other. But I'm going to go Argentina here. Turkey versus Egypt. Tough one. I'm going to go Turkey here. Switzerland versus Algeria. I'm going to go Switzerland. Yeah. Portugal versus Ghana. Yeah, rematch of the last World Cup. And I'm going to go Portugal here to advance. All right, now into the round of 16. Starting off, we got Germany versus France. Ooh, this is a big matchup between two European giants. But for this one in particular, I think I'm going to go with France because I just feel like they got too much talent and I guess much better players than Germany has. So I got France advancing going into the quarterfinals. Next up, we got South Korea versus the Netherlands. Well, I'm going to go with the Netherlands just because they have that physical size advantage. And while the Netherlands, they have more talented players than Korea or South Korea. Yeah. Croatia versus Spain. I'm going to go Spain here just because, well, they have a much better roster than Croatia does. Yeah. I mean, I could see Croatia making a deep run, but I just don't really see it. USA versus Belgium. Ooh, oh boy. I mean, as much as I want the USA to advance to the quarterfinals in this tournament, I don't know. I just don't see that happening against a Belgium team. So I'm gonna go Belgium. All right, Brazil versus Norway. Well, I'm gonna go Brazil here. I mean, as much as I love Erling Haaland and that Norway team to make a deep run, I just don't know. I just feel like Brazil is willing to win it more than Norway does. Mexico versus England. Yeah, as much as I want Mexico to make a deep playoff run here, I just don't think they have what it takes to beat an English squad that has Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham and Jordan Pickford and some other players as well. So I got England advancing. All right, Argentina versus Turkey. Well, I'm gonna pick Argentina. Well, just because they can win without Messi, and I also feel like that they always seem to make a deep they can always seem to make a deep run in the World Cup as well. Portugal versus Switzerland. Well, you know what? Screw it. Argentina, a Portugal versus Argentina matchup in the quarterfinals is exactly what we wanted. So Portugal. All right, now we are into the quarterfinals for this bracket, and starting off, we got France versus Netherlands. And this one could be an entertaining matchup because, both teams are incredibly talented, and they're European giants. And France has Mbappe, and Netherlands has Van Dijk. And I wouldn't be surprised if this one even goes to penalties. But with that said, I think I'm gonna go with France here because in the last two World Cups, they at least made it to the semifinals, and this is Didier Deschamps' final final World Cup that he will coach for France. So I feel like them making it to the semifinals would be a huge accomplishment for that French squad. So I'm gonna go France here. And next up, we got Spain versus Belgium. Well, obviously Spain because they got a lot of young players, and I just don't think Belgium has what it takes to beat that Spanish squad. So Spain will advance to the semifinals. All right, Brazil versus England. Hmm. Um, as much as I want Brazil to advance here, I feel like the English are a better team under new manager Thomas Tuchel, and I especially was impressed by their qualify. Well, again, I was especially impressed by what they did in the qualifying stages for in their group for the World Cup, and and for Brazil, ever since they lost in the semifinals of in the 2014 World Cup, they haven't been back to the semifinals, and their ceiling has been the quarterfinals in the 2018 and 22 World Cup. So, and I think that happens again here. And finally, we got Argentina versus Portugal. Oh boy, this could be the game of the tournament here because this could be the last time that we see Ronaldo versus Messi face off against each other. And and who knows, this could also have a huge say in the GOAT debate. But with that being said, I think I'm going to go with Argentina to win this one, uh, especially if Messi plays here. But if Messi doesn't play, then I think Portugal could have a shot at advancing. But honestly, I think I think Argentina. Sorry, Ronaldo. Uh, you're probably for not getting your World Cup trophy that you wanted for Portugal. All right, we're down now. We're down to the final four teams in this tournament or bracket. And first off, we got France versus Spain. And this is a massive matchup right here, and a rematch of the Euro 2024 semifinal and 2025 Nation League final as well. And what's interesting is Spain has actually won the last two meetings against France in those matchups. And so because of that, I'm going to go with Spain here because, to get the job done and them advancing to the World Cup final. Now moving over to the other semifinal, England versus Argentina. And as much as I love to see Lionel Messi win another World Cup here, I just don't think Argentina has much gas left in the tank. And because of that, I'm going to go with England to advance to the final and set up a rematch of the 2024 Euro final of England versus Spain. And now it all comes down to this: Spain versus England, a rematch of the 2024 European Championship final, and two of the best teams in the world going head to head once again, this time with the World Cup on the line. And this is a really tough one to call because I think both England and Spain are really talented and they have achieved really good results under their current managers. But in the end, I think I'm going to go with Spain here. I just think their ability to control the game and dictate the tempo gives them the edge in a World Cup final like this. And when you throw in the young talent they have, I think that also could make a difference as well. So because of that, I got Spain winning the 2026 World Cup and them lifting the trophy once again in the on the biggest stage at MetLife Stadium. And that's how I see the 2026 FIFA World Cup playing out. If you guys enjoyed the video and agree or disagree with any of my predictions, let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoy sports content like this, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.